So what's interesting is that Clyde had reached out to me and said, "Hey, I want you to, I'd like for you to get up and spend about 10 minutes." And I've never spent just 10 minutes talking about anything. And so I said, I probably need to write this down and just put it all down while I've got my thoughts about me, and then just come and read it to you, kind of what my thoughts were. And that way I could maybe stay within the 10-minute time frame that Clyde asked me to. So I'm going to talk. I'm a little nervous, so please bear with me. And I'm as nervous as a cat in a room full of rocking chairs. No hard feelings about that, Joe. Joe's a big cat person. So, but I'd like to just have patience with me, because I'm really very new to all of this. I'm evolving and learning, and I don't know really what I don't know, but I'm getting a good feel of that today. And Mike, I have to say something about you. I just applaud you, and I just applaud you for how you and the gift that you gave us in that last little bit. I felt like what Clyde was, there was something missing, and that was what was missing, and you got back up and shared that, and I really appreciate the question to put that out there. So, I grew up a Free Will Baptist.
All right.
Think about that for a minute. Do you have any idea what it means? Shoe throwing, pew jumping, and a preacher hacking for at least an hour and a half every Sunday morning. I have searched and studied the scriptures looking for the truth from a young age. I've thought about all the people who have spent their entire life studying the written word, who were a lot smarter than me and seemed to have answers for everything. You realize there are Methodist PhDs, Baptist PhDs, Presbyterian PhDs. I'm going to keep going here. Church of Christ PhDs, Catholic PhDs, and the list goes on and on. I have a question. For maybe this group today. If they are all so knowledgeable, why are they all teaching something completely different? I don't know. About 10 years ago, my wife and I traveled to England. The only thing I really wanted to see was E.W. Bullinger's grave. In the side of his tomb was written 2 Timothy 2:15. Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Clyde. But I had to fall back to my King James Version.
Oh, that's okay.
I'm sorry. I used to be a King James Version guy too. But keep in mind that all of this was written before this meeting started today. So everything that I'm saying, it was all, I'd already written it down before I came here. The problem among most scholars and preachers and teachers is that they all think they are truly rightly dividing the word of truth, right? God allowed me to realize the key to understanding truth is right division. That's exactly why I'm here. That is the key. In my studies, I ran across something that caught my attention, universal salvation, or whatever else you want to call it. Surely this couldn't be true. I discussed with several of my friends who told me the devil would love for me to believe that everyone would be saved. Right?
Yes, sir.
But could it really be? I played the devil's advocate, obviously, no pun intended, and all my old theories were crushed. I don't know how to explain this. I wish I could describe it better. I really wish that I had the words to be able to talk about what happened to me and how I drove through that tunnel and come out on the other side. I wish I could. I think that's a good description of what happened to me. It was like I couldn't unsee or unknow what I had discovered. It was like every passage had a billboard confirming what I was questioning. In my searching, I stumbled onto J.W. Hanson, tent maker, study shelf, Bible student's notebook. I didn't only get answers that fit for the thoughts around universal salvation, but I'm currently learning things which are bringing me peace every day. I just want to repeat that one part. I am currently learning things which are bringing me peace every day. The universal salvation part is just the tip of the iceberg I'm learning. Again, I said, I don't know what I don't know, so it's okay if you say, well, Darson, that's not quite the way it is. But I'm telling you, that's what I feel. I'm finding out and becoming convinced when you are dead, you're really dead. Man.
What a concept.
When I heard Clyde talk about this, and I heard Mark talk about it in Birmingham, and I said, you guys are crazy. This is what I'm thinking. Which makes that whole resurrection thing for real, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Now the resurrection makes sense if you're dead. This should not be a difficult concept, but it took me over 2 years of deprogramming. A hard 2 years. To realize that I wasn't just moving across the street when I died.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
Now everything I'm saying is coming from someone who has spent their entire life studying to show myself approved. And I'm still deprogramming from mainstream Christianity. A man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. I had a friend that told me that. I'm realizing God is actually in control, not me. I'm learning to love that person who doesn't use turn signals or cruises along in the passing lane like they are the only one on the road.
Amen, brother.
Huh? But this is the key part. I pass them in the right lane, and this is what I'm thinking now. This is incredible. Thank you. I don't do that. I really don't. My wife does.
Don't forget, she may see this.
Yeah, well, thanks for reminding me of that. Now she sure will never come to one of these events, right? Thank you for this evil you have caused me this morning. And thank you for adding to my heavenly blessings. Now I'm just beginning to kind of learn how that all fits together. And I think Andre may have said something that I had read or something that had maybe pointed me in that direction. I don't know. I'm new at this, right? You know, I'm not teaching anybody. I'm just telling you what I've dealt with. I have more compassion on those who are having a hard time.
Yeah.
I have more forgiveness for those who wrong me or others. I am realizing I've not been forgiven. I've been justified.
All right.
I know God created all things, including evil, and all things are working together to bring about His glorious plan.
Yep.
I realize every accomplishment is just like mowing the lawn. Next week, the grass and weeds are going to be right back where they were last week. It's all vanity. It's all vanity. For those who don't agree with me, I don't care. I really don't care.
Yes.
I can smile knowing God is working His plan. My days of evangelizing are over. This will be pretty good. Listen, I can tell people on the gospel, you know.
Yeah.
You need to get saved? Ha! You better get on down here. My days of listening and sharing has just begun.
All right.
I realize He is doing just fine without me. Where I would have debated before, I never even have to open my mouth. Folks, it is great. Did I mention that I love bacon? Now this is that whole bacon thing. So I just come to the realization about a year ago, I hadn't eaten bacon in years. Just because I wanted to do what was right, you know, to the Lord. I wanted to do the right thing. Man, I miss bacon. And Clyde told me, guess what, buddy? I'm convinced. He didn't just tell me. I'm convinced that God gave me bacon. Did I mention that I love bacon? I can eat a little bacon and not feel bad about it. God knows I like bacon, Andre. Instead of firing up a scented candle at my house, I just throw some bacon in the microwave. Who has those little trees hanging on the rear view mirror? You got it. You're going right? Hang some bacon on your rear view mirror. Hey, that new car smell is way overrated, right? Nothing smells bacon. I'm also becoming more convinced that for every wrong which has ever burdened us, we will be repaid with blessings after we are resurrected, as it tells us in Romans 8:18. And again, I'm new to this, guys. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy
Yeah.
to be compared
Thank you.
with the glory which shall be revealed in us.
Yes.
It all changed for me when I began searching the Scripture to understand God's character. This is like the pivotal point for me. Instead of searching the Scriptures to justify my religious position on a subject. As Mark was saying, my paradigm is changing, and I'm learning every day. I don't have to justify anything. He does all the justifying. I'm not even concerned. Now, this is going to get some of you, and I don't know where you fall on the fence on this. Again, I really don't care. You don't have to come to me at dinner and say, hey, I'm not even concerned around the drama of who will become president. I really don't care about that either. I don't need to feel guilty about to vote or about not being patriotic because I won't vote. I'm learning patriotism is nothing more than another religion. The United States is not my promised land. Donald Trump is not my God. And the building on every street corner is not my church.
All right.
And if you don't feel that way, that's okay. I'm convinced God knows exactly what He is doing, and there is no pressure on me to perform. Do you know how much pressure that takes off of me?
Yes,
I
do.
can breathe. There's no pressure for me to perform and to do anything. I can just be me. He doesn't need my help or advice. Huh? Wouldn't you want my advice, Claudia? Yeah,
If
he
it's
doesn't
about
need it.
faith, then yeah.
He only desires my thankfulness. I'm very thankful.
Yeah.
I realize that this is a blessing that I'm even here and that I'm getting to meet you folks. Just like you, He made me as perfectly as He wanted me. And for the first time in my life, I just turned 60. For the first time in my life, I'm content and at peace with me. I can finally just breathe and live this life that He has planned for me. My only responsibility, and again I added this in, as Mark said, is to ride the train.
Right.
Thank you guys for letting me share.